The weight of potential crushes souls silently. It sits heavy in the corners of our minds, a dormant volcano of possibility waiting to erupt. Most people walk through life carrying this immense potential like a forgotten backpack, stuffed with dreams, hopes, and unrealized capabilities, growing heavier with each passing year, yet never opened, never explored. Silence fills the room. Not the uncomfortable silence of uncertainty, but the electric silence of awakening, the kind of silence that precedes a thunderclap of understanding. What if I told you that the most powerful transformation tool isn't hidden in some secret mountain retreat or locked away in an expensive course? What if the key to completely redesigning your entire existence sits right within your grasp, waiting for you to simply reach out and claim it? Education, but not the kind confined to classrooms or defined by formal institutions. I'm talking about a radical, relentless, personal commitment to growth that becomes as essential to your daily routine as breathing. Every single human being arrives in this world with an extraordinary potential. Not just potential for success, but potential for profound, meaningful transformation. Yet most people treat their mind like an old, dusty library. Occasional visitors who never truly explore the rich volumes of knowledge waiting to be discovered. Imagine your brain as a magnificent machine. Not a computer, not a simplistic metaphor, but a living, breathing ecosystem of infinite possibilities. Each day, you have a choice. You can either let this ecosystem remain unexplored, overgrown with the weeds of complacency, or you can become its most dedicated gardener. The most successful individuals aren't born with some magical genetic superiority. They've simply mastered one fundamental art: continuous learning. They understand that personal development isn't a destination, but a perpetual journey of growth, challenge, and transformation. Consider how a small seed transforms into a mighty oak. It doesn't become great by accident. It grows through consistent nurturing, absorbing nutrients, adapting to challenges, standing resilient against storms. Your mind operates exactly the same way. Every book you read, every skill you learn, every challenging conversation you engage in becomes a nutrient that feeds your personal growth. But here's the profound truth that most people avoid: is uncomfortable. It's meant to be. If your learning doesn't make you slightly uncomfortable, you're not truly learning. You're just entertaining yourself. Think about physical exercise. When you first start lifting weights, your muscles protest. They burn, they ache, they resist. But with consistent effort, those same muscles that once screamed in protest become your greatest strength. Personal education works identically. The initial resistance you feel when challenging your existing beliefs, when stepping out of your comfort zone, is not a sign to stop. It's a signal that genuine transformation is happening. Most people consume information like they consume fast food: quick, shallow, momentarily satisfying, but providing no real nutritional value. They scroll through social media, consume sensationalist news, engage in meaningless chatter, and call it being informed. But true education is a gourmet meal. It requires patience, intention, and a commitment to quality. What separates extraordinary individuals from ordinary ones isn't talent. It's the relentless pursuit of knowledge, the willingness to be a perpetual student of life, to approach every experience, whether a conversation with a stranger, a challenging project at work, or a book on a topic you know nothing about, as an opportunity to expand your understanding. Your income, your relationships, your entire life trajectory is directly proportional to your personal development. Not your degrees, not your current job title, but your commitment to continuous learning. Every skill you acquire is a new currency. Every perspective you understand is a new lens through which you can view the world. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think education is about accumulating information. It's not. It's about transformation. It's about taking knowledge and alchemizing it into wisdom. It's about understanding not just what something means, but how it connects to everything else in the universe. A book is not just ink on paper. It's a portal to another consciousness, A conversation is not just an exchange of words. It's an opportunity to understand another human's entire universe. A challenge is not a roadblock. It's a masterclass in personal resilience. The world doesn't reward you for what you know. It rewards you for what you can do with what you know. Knowledge without application is like a Ferrari sitting in a garage. Beautiful, expensive, but utterly useless. Considered the most successful people across any field. They aren't successful because they know more. They're successful because they've learned how to learn. They've developed an insatiable curiosity, a hunger that can never be fully satisfied. They understand that the moment you think you know everything is the moment you've stopped. Your education should be holistic. It's not just about professional skills or academic knowledge. It's about understanding yourself, about emotional intelligence, about comprehending human behavior, about developing empathy, about understanding complex systems, about nurturing your physical health, about exploring philosophical ideas, about understanding economic systems, about developing communication skills. Every single day presents you with a choice. You can either invest in yourself or you can spend your time. And make no mistake, time is the most expensive currency you'll ever spend. You can't earn it back. Once it's gone forever. Developing a learning habit isn't about massive, overwhelming changes. It's about small, consistent actions. Reading 20 pages a day, listening to an educational podcast during your commute, having meaningful conversations with people who challenge your existing worldview, taking online courses, watching documentaries, practicing new skills. The compound effect of these small actions is miraculous. Just like compound interest in finance, where small investments grow exponentially over time, your personal growth follows the same mathematical principle. A once proven every day might seem insignificant, but over a year, that's a 365 transformation. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and dramatically underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. Your potential isn't a fixed point. It's an expanding universe that grows with every single choice you make. But potential without action is just a beautiful dream. It's a song unsung, a book unwritten, a journey not taken. Action is the bridge between possibility and reality. And the first action is always education. The world is changing at an unprecedented rate. The skills that were valuable a decade ago are obsolete today. The jobs of tomorrow don't even exist yet. In this rapidly shifting landscape, your ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn becomes your greatest survival skill. Your mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. Every piece of knowledge is a spark. Some sparks will create small flames, others will ignite entire forests of understanding, but you'll never know unless you're willing to strike. Are you ready to transform? Are you prepared to make education not just an occasional activity, but a way of life? Comfort is the silent killer of dreams. It's a beautiful, deceptive illusion that whispers promises of safety while slowly suffocating your potential. Most people mistake comfort for happiness, not realizing they're trading their extraordinary potential for a mediocre existence. Consider how ecosystems work in nature. The most resilient organisms aren't those protected in perfect conditions. They're the ones that have learned to adapt, to bend without breaking, to grow through adversity. Your personal growth follows the exact same principle. Learning is not a linear process. It's messy, unpredictable, sometimes painful. It requires you to deconstruct beliefs you've held sacred, to challenge narratives you've accepted without question. Every profound transformation begins with the courage to admit what I know might not be the whole truth. Think about your current belief system. Where did those beliefs come from? Most were inherited from parents, from educational systems, from cultural narratives, from societal expectations. How many of those beliefs have you personally examined? How many have you tested against reality? True education is an act of rebellion. It's about constantly questioning, constantly probing, constantly expanding the boundaries of your understanding. It's about developing what scientific communities call intellectual humility. the profound recognition that your current understanding is always incomplete. Imagine your mind as a sophisticated navigation system. Most people are driving with an outdated map, wondering why they keep hitting dead ends and unexpected roadblocks. Continuous education is about constantly updating that map, about being willing to recalculate your route when new information emerges. But here's a crucial distinction. Information is not transformation. We live in an age of unprecedented access to information. With a few clicks, you can access more knowledge than entire generations could accumulate in a lifetime. Yet, access doesn't equal understanding. It doesn't equal growth. Real learning happens at the intersection of information, reflection, and application. It's not about consuming content. It's about metabolizing it. Just like food becomes part of your physical body, knowledge should become part of your cognitive ecosystem. Consider how you currently consume information. Are you a passive consumer or an active learner? Do you read to confirm what you already know, or do you read to challenge your existing understanding? Do you seek out perspectives that make you uncomfortable, or do you stay within the safe echo chambers of your existing beliefs? The most powerful learning happens outside your comfort zone. It happens when you intentionally expose yourself to ideas that challenge your worldview. When you engage with perspectives that initially seem alien, even threatening. When you develop the maturity to say, I might be wrong and genuinely mean it. Personal development is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the most authentic version of yourself. And authenticity requires courage. The courage to shed layers of conditioning, to question inherited narratives, to strip away the mask society has taught you to wear. Every skill you learn is a new lens through which you can perceive the world. Learning a new language isn't just about communication. It's about understanding an entire cultural perspective. Learning mathematics isn't just about calculations. It's about developing logical thinking. Learning philosophy isn't just about abstract ideas. It's about understanding how humans construct meaning. Your brain is the most sophisticated technology on the planet. It can rewire itself, create new neural pathways, adapt to completely new environments. But like any technology, it requires maintenance. It requires intentional upgrades. It requires you to be its most committed engineer. Most people treat their minds like rental cars. They use them, abuse them, never truly investing in their maintenance. They don't realize that the mind is the only vehicle that can take you anywhere you can imagine and beyond. Developing a learning habit is about creating a personal ecosystem of growth. It's about surrounding yourself with resources, with people, with environments that challenge and support your development. It's about being intentional about every input you allow into your cognitive system. Read books that make you uncomfortable. Have conversations with people who think differently. Take courses in subjects completely unrelated to your profession. Learn a musical instrument. Study a new language. Explore philosophical concepts. Challenge your physical limits. Each of these activities is not just a skill acquisition. It's a complete cognitive renovation. Your environment is your greatest teacher. If you want to grow, you must be willing to change your environment. Surround yourself with individuals who are committed to growth, people who challenge you, who inspire you, who refuse to let you settle for mediocrity. But here's the hard truth. Nobody can want your growth more than you want it. External resources, mentors, books, they're all just catalysts. The real transformation happens inside you. It happens in those quiet moments of decision. When you choose growth over comfort. When you choose curiosity over certainty. Education is not something that happens to you. It's something you actively pursue. It's a commitment, a lifestyle, a continuous dance between humility and ambition, between recognizing how much you don't know and being excited about the journey of discovering it. Are you ready to stop existing and start truly living? Are you prepared to make education the fundamental operating system of your life? Wealth is not about money. It's about capability. It's about the richness of your skills, the depth of your understanding, the breadth of your perspective. Financial wealth can disappear overnight, but the wealth of knowledge, of adaptability, of continuous learning, that's true wealth. Every skill you acquire is a form of currency. Not just monetary currency, but a currency of opportunity, of potential, of personal. When you invest in yourself, you're creating an asset that appreciates continuously, an asset that can't be stolen, can't be taxed, can't be lost in a market crash. Consider how economic systems work. The most resilient economies are those that continuously innovate, that adapt, that invest in human capital. Your personal economy operates exactly the same way. Your ability to learn, to adapt, to grow, that's your personal GDP. Most people treat personal development as an expense. They see courses, books, workshops as cost. Successful individuals see them as investments. They understand that every dollar spent on learning has the potential to generate exponential returns. But learning is not just about formal education. It's about developing a sophisticated approach to acquiring knowledge. It's about understanding the difference between information and wisdom. Information tells you something. Wisdom helps you understand its deeper implications. Think about communication skills. They're not just about speaking clearly. They're about understanding human psychology, about developing empathy, about navigating complex social dynamics. A single communication skill can be worth millions in professional opportunities, in relationship quality, in personal influence. Your network is your net worth, but the quality of your network is determined by the quality of your personal development. The more you grow, the more you attract individuals who are also committed to grow. It's a self-reinforcing ecosystem of potential. Imagine your personal development as a sophisticated investment portfolio. Just like a financial advisor would diversify monetary investments, you need to diversify your learning investments. Technical skills, emotional intelligence, physical health, philosophical understanding, communication abilities. Each is a different asset class in your personal growth portfolio. Most people have a scarcity mindset when it comes to learning. They think there's not enough time, not enough resources. Successful individuals operate from an abundance mindset. They see opportunities for learning everywhere. A conversation becomes a master class. A challenge becomes a learning laboratory. A setback becomes a strategic review. Your time is your most precious resource. Every minute you spend scrolling mindlessly, every hour you waste on unproductive activities is a direct withdrawal from your personal potential. Successful individuals don't find time for learning. They create time. They understand that learning is not a luxury, it's a necessity. But here's a profound truth. Learning is not just about acquiring skills. It's about developing a way of thinking, a way of perceiving the world, a way of approaching challenges. It's about developing cognitive flexibility, the ability to rapidly adapt your thinking to new situations. Consider how technology evolves. The most successful tech companies don't just create products. They create entire ecosystems of innovation. Your personal development should work the same way. You're not just acquiring skills. You're creating an ecosystem of continuous growth. Emotional intelligence is perhaps the most undervalued form of personal capital. The ability to understand yourself, to manage your emotions, to read and navigate complex social dynamics. These skills are worth more than any technical qualification. They determine your leadership potential, your relationship quality, your personal resilience. Every challenge is a learning opportunity. Every setback is a strategic review. Every failure is research data. But this perspective requires a fundamental shift in how you perceive difficulty. Most people see challenges as obstacles. Successful individuals see them as workshops. Your personal growth has a compounding effect. Skills interact. Knowledge builds upon knowledge. A technical skill combined with communication ability becomes leadership potential. Emotional intelligence combined with strategic thinking becomes exceptional problem-solving capability. But growth requires vulnerability. It requires the courage to admit what you don't know, to be a beginner again, to be uncomfortable, to recognize that expertise in one area doesn't translate to expertise everywhere. Humility is the foundation of true learning. Develop a personal board of directors in your mind. Not actual people, but representations of different thinking styles. The strategic thinker, the creative innovator, the empathetic listener, the logical analyzer. Learn to consult these different perspectives when approaching challenges. Your personal development is your most significant competitive advantage. In a world of increasing automation, the skills that can't be replicated by machines are precisely the skills of continuous learning. Creativity, emotional intelligence, strategic thinking, complex problem solving. Are you prepared to become the architect of your own extraordinary potential? The human mind is a narrative machine. We don't just experience life. We tell ourselves stories about our experiences, and the most powerful stories are the ones we tell ourselves about who we are, what we're capable of, and what we deserve. Most people are living someone else's script. A narrative crafted by fear, by societal expectations, by inherited limitations. They've internalized stories of scarcity, of struggle, of impossibility. These stories become invisible walls constraining their potential without them even realizing it. Transformation begins with story reconstruction. It's about becoming the conscious author of your life narrative. Not through positive thinking, that's a superficial hack, but through deep, intentional rewriting of your internal dialogue. Your belief systems, your understanding of what's possible. You can consider how psychological conditioning works. Your brain doesn't distinguish between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. Every thought you entertain, every narrative you repeat, creates neural pathways. These pathways become your default operating system, your automatic responses. Most people are walking around with an outdated mental operating system, programmed by childhood experiences, by societal narratives, by past failures. They're trying to navigate a complex, dynamic world with software designed for a completely different era. Personal development is system upgrade. It's about deliberately reprogramming your internal narrative, not through wishful thinking, but through strategic intervention, through understanding how your mind actually works, through developing metacognitive skills, the ability to observe your own thinking processes. Emotions are not random. They're data. They're sophisticated information systems providing crucial feedback about your internal state. Most people try to suppress or ignore their emotions. Successful individuals learn to decode them, to understand the message beneath the feeling. Your unconscious mind is like a powerful computer running in the background. It's continuously processing information, making decisions, creating patterns. Most of these processes happen without your conscious awareness. Personal development is about bringing these unconscious patterns into conscious awareness. Beliefs are not facts. They're hypotheses about reality that you've accepted as truth. Every belief is essentially a prediction about how the world works. And like any prediction, it can be tested, challenged, updated. Your current set of beliefs is just your best understanding at this moment. Think about how scientific understanding evolves. Scientists don't become attached to a theory. They create hypotheses, test them, and are willing to completely discard previous understanding when new evidence emerges. Your personal belief system should operate the same way. Psychological flexibility is your greatest survival skill. It's the ability to adapt your thinking, to shift perspectives, to see situations from multiple angles. It's about developing cognitive agility, the mental equivalent of a high-performance athlete's physical flexibility. Trauma and past experiences create mental scar tissue. They're not weaknesses, they're adaptive responses that helped you survive at some point. But survival strategies that worked in the past can become limitations in a new context. Personal development is about recognizing these old adaptive patterns and consciously choosing new responses. Your attention is your most valuable resource. In a world of constant distraction, the ability to deliberately direct your focus becomes a superpower. It's not about working harder. It's about working more intentionally, about creating mental environments that support your growth. Develop a relationship with your mind like you would with a sophisticated business partner. Listen to it, challenge it, negotiate with it, understand its default patterns, create intentional practices that reshape these patterns. Meditation is not about emptying your mind. It's about developing a sophisticated relationship with your thoughts. It's about creating space between stimulus and response, about developing the ability to observe your mental processes without getting entangled in them. Your identity is not fixed. It's a continuous process of becoming. Every choice, every moment of awareness, every deliberate action is an opportunity to redefine yourself. You're not a finished product. You're a living, evolving system of potential. Performance psychology teaches us that peak performance comes from integrated systems. It's not about isolated skills. It's about creating harmony between your mental, emotional, and physical capabilities. About developing a holistic approach to personal excellence. Self-compassion is not weakness. It's a strategic performance enhancement technique. The most successful individuals understand that harsh self-criticism creates mental friction. It diverts energy from growth and learning. Compassionate awareness creates the psychological safety necessary for true transformation. Your potential is not a destination. It's a continuous journey of discovery, a dynamic, ever-expanding landscape of possibility. Every limitation you encounter is not a wall. It's an invitation to expand your understanding of what's possible. Are you ready to become the conscious architect of your psychological landscape? Are you prepared to treat your mind with the same strategic rigor that a master craftsman treats their most sophisticated tool? The moment of choice arrives silently. It doesn't announce itself with thunderous fanfare or dramatic lighting. It comes as a whisper, a subtle vibration in the depths of your consciousness. A moment where everything you've absorbed, everything you've learned, everything you've understood crystallizes into a singular, powerful realization. You are not defined by your circumstances. You are defined by your response to those circumstances. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens through you. Every single moment is an opportunity for creation, for transformation, for becoming something more than you were moments before. But this transformation requires something most people are unwilling to provide: total, uncompromising commitment. Commitment is not a grand, sweeping gesture. It's a series of microscopic choices made moment by moment. It's choosing growth over comfort, learning over entertainment, depth over superficiality, courage over... Think about the most profound transformations in human history. They didn't happen through massive, overnight changes. They happened through consistent, almost imperceptible shifts. A scientist making a tiny adjustment to an experiment. An artist developing a unique brushstroke. An entrepreneur seeing a possibility where others saw a limitation. Your personal transformation follows the same fundamental principle. It's not about massive, overwhelming changes. It's about small, intentional, consistent actions that compound over time. Reading 20 pages a day, practicing a new skill for 30 minutes, having conversations that challenge your existing understanding, asking questions that make you uncomfortable. Most people live their entire lives on the surface. They skim through experiences, consume information like fast food, engage in shallow conversations. They're tourists in their own potential, never truly exploring the vast, rich landscapes of their capability. But you have a choice. You can become an explorer, a cartographer of your own potential, mapping unexplored territories of understanding, discovering new capabilities, pushing beyond the artificial boundaries you've unconsciously constructed. Your education is not a linear path. It's a complex, interconnected ecosystem. Every book you read interacts with every conversation you have. Every skill you learn creates unexpected connections with other areas of your understanding. Knowledge is not a collection of isolated facts. It's a living, breathing network of insight. Imagine your mind as a sophisticated garden. Most people treat it like an abandoned lot. overgrown with weeds of negative thinking, cluttered with debris of unexamined beliefs. Successful individuals are master gardeners. They understand that cultivation requires constant attention, pruning limiting beliefs, planting seeds of possibility, nurturing emerging insights. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards actualization. It rewards the individuals who take their raw capabilities and transform them into tangible results, who don't just dream but do, who don't just learn but apply, who don't just consume information but create value. Your greatest competition is not external. It's the version of yourself from yesterday. Every single day you have an opportunity to be more aware, more skilled, more compassionate, more understanding than you were 24 hours ago. For brutal truths. Growth is uncomfortable. It requires you to constantly step outside your comfort zone, to challenge your existing understanding, to admit what you don't know, to be a beginner again and again. Most people avoid this discomfort. They settle, they compromise, they create elaborate stories about why they can't grow. Success is not about talent, it's about commitment. It's about developing systems and habits that support continuous growth. It's about creating environments that nurture your potential, surrounding yourself with individuals who challenge you, resources that expand your understanding, experiences that push your boundaries. Every skill you learn is a new lens through which you can perceive the world. Learning a language isn't just about communication, it's about understanding an entire cultural perspective. Learning mathematics isn't just about calculations, it's about developing logical thinking. Learning philosophy isn't just about abstract ideas, it's about understanding how humans construct meaning. Your personal development is a lifelong journey of becoming, not a destination to be reached, but a continuous process of exploration and transformation. Each moment is an opportunity to choose, to expand, to grow. But growth requires vulnerability. It requires the courage to admit what you don't know, to be a beginner again, to be uncomfortable, to recognize that expertise in one area doesn't translate to expertise everywhere. Humility is the foundation of true learning. The most powerful individuals are not those who know the most. They're those who are most committed to continuous learning, those who approach every experience as a learning opportunity, who see challenges as workshops, who treat failures as research data. Your potential is not a fixed point. It's an expanding universe. With every book you read, every conversation you have, every skill you practice, you're not just adding knowledge. You're fundamentally rewiring your cognitive infrastructure. You're creating new neural pathways, developing more sophisticated ways of thinking. But potential without action is just a beautiful dream, a song unsung, a book unwritten, a journey not taken. Action is the bridge between possibility and reality. And the first action is always education. The world is changing at an unprecedented rate. The skills valuable today might be obsolete tomorrow. In this landscape, your ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn becomes your greatest survival skill. Your most valuable asset is not your current knowledge. It's your capacity to acquire new knowledge. You are not here to fit into the world. You are here to expand the boundaries of what's possible, to challenge existing narratives, to create new possibilities, to be a catalyst of transformation. Every single day, you have a choice. You can either invest in yourself or you can spend your time. And make no mistake, time is the most expensive currency you'll ever spend. You can't earn it back. Once it's gone forever. This is your moment of truth, not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect right now. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the electricity of possibility coursing through your veins. Your entire life has been preparing you for this exact moment of awakening. Every struggle, every seemingly random experience has been a precise instrument sculpting your potential. You are standing at the edge of transformation. Behind you lies a landscape of familiar limitations. Before you stretches an infinite horizon of unexplored potential. The bridge between these two worlds is constructed with one material committed action. No external force can stop you. No past failure can define you. No limitation can contain you if you refuse to be contained. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the architect of possibilities. Your life is not a rehearsal. This is the performance. This is the moment where potential transforms into reality, where dreams crystallize into action, where learning becomes living. Breathe, choose, become.